Coming up, the Secretary General of African National Congress, Fikile Mbalula, is expected to update the media on the National Working Committee visit to the Northwest Province. Today marks the start of National Child Protection Week to raise awareness of the rights of children as articulated in the Constitution. Welcome. We are coming to you live from our studios in Auckland Park, Johannesburg. Thank you for tuning in. You are watching The Week Ahead. You can interact with us on social media platforms at Week Ahead, hashtag The Week Ahead. I'm your host, Asanda Magaqa. The Bloemfontein Magistrates Court will deliver its verdict on the bail application of 5 accused in the Tabo escape saga on Monday, the 29th. The accused include 4 former G4S employees and 1 person who was a technician for the IT company that was responsible for the installing of CCTV cameras at the Mangaung Correctional Center. Bester escaped in a staged suicide in which he was allegedly assisted by the facility's employees in May last year. The accused are facing charges that include aiding and abetting a convicted criminal to escape from custody, defeating the ends of justice, and fraud. President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed a 3-member independent panel to inquire into the circumstances of the docking of the Russian vessel known as Lady R in Simonstown, Western Cape, in December 2022. The panel comprises of Judge PMD Mojapelo as chairperson, as well as Advocate Leah Gabashe and Enver Surti. The spokesperson to the President, Vincent Magwenya, has more.
The President decided to establish the inquiry because of the seriousness of the allegations, the extent of public interest, and the impact on South Africa's international relations. The panel will complete its investigation within 6 weeks of its appointment and will be expected to deliver its report to the President within 2 weeks. The panel may request an extension to these timeframes should it be necessary.
After being halted in 2022 due to COVID-19, the Slave Route Challenge makes its return to the streets of Cape Town with the purpose of raising awareness about the history and heritage of Cape Town. The historic part of Cape Town was built by those who were enslaved from Indonesia and Malaysia. The Slave Route Challenge features several of Cape Town's iconic landmarks along the route, starting from the City Hall and to the finish on the Grand Parade. SABC News reporter Atule Joga and video journalist Lukhanyo Mazantsana have more.
Quite a unique fun race. We've seen quite a multidisciplinary, multi-ethnicity and diverse number of people coming from different walks of life taking part in this particular race here in the Western Cape. It's called the Slave Race Route, which takes place through all the historic sites here in the Western Cape. You might help but wonder if Western Cape is like a crime scene as you are reading through that route that these racers were going to participating in this morning. They started in front of the City Hall, running through to District 6. This is where most slaves that came through to South Africa were living, and in other places like your gardens, they were running through the slave trees where slaves used to be put and be sold. So they ran through all these historic and significant sites where slaves used to be kept to try and reflect on the past of South Africa, the colonial past, which was very hectic, which was very sad. But I will be joined by Mr. Ahmad Jacobs, who is the organizer of this event. Mr. Ahmad, just talk to us about the importance as to why you named this particular race as a slave race route.
Good morning to you. Yes, we call it the Slavery Challenge because 11 years ago, when we established a race for our club, we were thinking of what and where would we pitch a race for the club. And then, coming from a historic background, we then, at the time, with our founder of our club, member Farouk Bayer, decided to call this a Slavery Challenge, and we identified all the iconic slave sites, as you have mentioned, which is the City Hall here, District 6, the gardens, and also the Gallow Hills and the Ezekiel museums as well, where most of the slaves, and especially in the gardens, where they went to fetch water, walking from the castle to the gardens to fetch water for their masters. Those are examples of what the slaves used to do in our country. But that is how we got to this iconic race and call it a Slave Route Challenge. And the city is very happy to be a partner with us in this race, and they have now recognized it as one of the events of the year and added to the events calendar. But the Slavery Challenge, we are in the 11th year of the Slavery Challenge. The Brimstone Iteko Sports Athletic Club has been established 12 years ago, and this is our 11th Slavery Challenge race.
Just coming back to now, we see quite a number of diverse people coming from different walks of life taking part in this event. It seems now that more people are participating. It's not only those that were affected, it's quite a broader sort of perspective.
Yes, this was the idea of establishing the race, is to get a broader community, not only for our previously disadvantaged runners, but also to get other runners as part of the Western Cape to be part of this, to learn about our historic cultures, about the slaves, that slave history, so that they can also learn about it. And that was to broaden and to get to people to know it. So that's why we established a half marathon, which is a 21 kilometer. We established a 10-kilometer run and a 10-kilometer walk and a 5-kilometer fun run. So the pinnacle of our race is obviously running through the Boo Cup, which is also a very historic area of Cape Town, and we call it the Cook Sister Hill, which is up. You go up Penn Street, which is a hectic hill, and when you get to the top of Penn Street, everybody gets a kusista on that hill. So that is also one of the landmarks of this race.
I see there was a prize giving as well. What are the prizes?
Yeah, so we have a prize giving for the 21K. We have prize giving for the 10K and for the fun. So we also have fun run. So we have excuse me. We have prizes worth to the value of 34,000 rand.
Thank you so much.
There was a thank you for the opportunity, and please be assured that next year join the Slave Route, as we started with 2,000 runners in our first run. This year now our first run after COVID, and we've achieved 7,000 runners.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad Jacobs, just taking us down memory lane as to when they started, saying this is the 11th edition of the Slave Route Challenge, inviting us again to come through next year. But prizes are being won now. There were different categories, 5 kilometers, 10 and 21 kilometers. So some of the people that won in those categories are being given prizes behind me. But I will try and speak to some of the participants who took part in this sort of competition to talk to us about their experience. I have here members of Langa Athletics Club. Ma'am, you took part in this competition. Just talk to us about your experience here today.
Okay, my name is Kaliwe Tibula. I'm from Time Bank Langa Athletics Club. The experience was phenomenal. It's been 2 years since this kind of race has stopped. I was partaking in 10Ks, and it was 10Ks run and 21Ks run. So most of our runners were doing 21Ks. It was quite exciting. taking all the hills on was Kuksastar Hill.
I understand you also ran through some historic routes. And also, who did you run with? I see you have your team around here as well. And you introduce your team.
Okay, this is the Time Bank Langa. This is one of our captains, Umulibatsi Matsube. I ran with Ntabisang. She was quite amazing. She got a PB today, and all these guys were doing 21. But we got back into running. The vibe is still there, and we are conquering all these hills. It was exciting to go through all these sites of heritage to pass them through. Yes.
Also, I see people are excited. As you said, it was quite a vibe. We also have Umulebatsi here, who's also the captain of the team. Talk to us, how was it leading the team in this historic race here today?
Now, the race was nice. It's tough. There's a lot of uphills, but a lot of historic places to pass on route. It was a very nice route. Nice morning, nice weather. It was proper.
And for the team, what to next?
Next is UWC, and then we're working towards Cape Town Marathon.
Yeah. Guys, how was today's race?
Awesome! One word, yes.
How did you prepare for this race?
Yeah, it's just doing small runs, 5Ks, 6Ks during the week, once or twice. And then that.
And also from here, where to from now?
I'm ready for books. I don't think I'll do UWC. I'll do books.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy. Well, Tabo, those were some of the participants here that took part in this race. We understand it is quite historic. It comes from a sad past of apartheid. They ran through some of the very historic sites here. We understand that District 6 used to keep some of the people that were enslaved, that came from that are of the Indonesian and Malaysian descent, that came here to South Africa to be enslaved, to be workers. We understand they ran through some of the historical sites, such as a site where they used to pump water for the colonial masters, a site where the bell used to be rang for the employees of the masters to come and work. So they ran through those sites to just reflect on that past, to also celebrate it. But today it is quite multi-diverse, multi-ethnicity, and also quite multicultural people have come to take part in this event. As you can see that people are enjoying and just relishing those moments of a very sad past, but they are now enjoying and also taking part in a very quite inspiring and a way that they can enjoy, which is running the best way they know how.
Thank you very much there to Atule Joka, together with video journalist Lukanyo Mazantsana, taking us to the break. The week ahead continues after this. Welcome back. Today marks the start of the National Child Protection Week, which is commemorated in the country annually to raise awareness of the rights of children as articulated in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and the Children's Act. The week will be commemorated under the theme, Let Us Protect Children During COVID-19 and Beyond. Joining us for a discussion on this and more, we are joined by Gugu Taba, Acting CEO at Save the Children South Africa. A very good afternoon to you, Gugu, and welcome to the week ahead. It's been 29 years since democracy and children's rights became entrenched in the Bill of Rights in the Constitution of the country. How far have we come with the protection of the rights of children?
Thank you very much, Asanda. And Save the Children is pleased to say we've come very far. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this because we've been able to set up a good Children's Act, mm-hmm. And we've been able to create a national plan of action for children. And if you look back, we've got more than, I would safely say more than 200 organizations that are working to protect the rights of children. And the conversations about child protection, about the system that needs to be in place in order for us to protect the rights of children are rife, which means a lot of people are talking about it. The one snag that I think we have is that children's rights is not well understood by the communities that we are serving. And remember, we are talking about children's rights and children's responsibility. And this also includes the fact that the adults that are around children, the adults that are, sorry?
Yes, Sis Gugu, you're talking about how communities are battling to understand children's rights. Just talk us more on that.
Okay. Now, communities think when we talk about children's rights, we are saying children do not have responsibilities, such that we are saying children must get anything they want at any time, which is not true. What we are saying is that as soon as a child is on earth, they have a right to be developed. They have a right to have a safe environment around them. They have a right to be nourished. And they also have a right to participate, meaning we need to hear their voices. Now, when you look at Child Protection Week specifically, you are looking at the fact that we know environments in the home setting, for instance, data tells us that 1 in every 3 child is harmed in a home. And that is very dangerous, because you can imagine what happens then when the child is in school and in maybe within the communities. So which means more harm is happening to children in the home. Then there are predators. They are in the home. There are predators that some of them were not aware of them. For instance, I leave my child with an uncle and not in an ECD center. And yet, I do not know the abilities or the responsibility of this particular individual. And yet now, this person becomes the one that sexually abuses my child. The other thing that is rife now, as you know, Child Protection Week, we are talking about protecting children, even to the harm that is happening online. Now, we've got children that are given phones without any control systems, such that children can access any platform, such that they get exposed to pornography. They get exposed to predators who are saying to them, take a picture of your naked body and bring it to me. That person is going to use it for pornography. This child doesn't know. And the other thing, some, they promise them 20 rands for doing that. So we need to protect children online. Yes, we've given them phones, but the parents and the children themselves do not understand that there's need for protection even then. That's basically what I can say for now, Asanda.
And there's a list of rights, Sis Gugu, that are created to protect children. Are children aware of these rights?
We are doing our best as Save the Children to make them aware. It's not all children, such that I can safely say again, it's less than 20% children who know about their rights. Save the Children is in schools, is in communities, to try and even set up what we call children's networks in order to teach them about their rights. We have children right now whom we call child rights advocates, and they are defenders of their rights. But these are small groups, honestly, when you look at the fact that we've got 22 million children in this country, and I cannot say we have taught 1 million of the 22 million. So it's not all children that are aware, and those that are aware, they are very conversant about it. So we still have a lot of work to do as Save the Children.
Now, the Child Protection Week is starting today and will end on the 4th of June. Such commemorations, alongside with commemorations and calendar events like 16 days of activism against women and child abuse, are they enough to highlight the rights of children?
Okay. Asanda, Save the Children and the government of South Africa is actually saying children need to be protected 365 days of their life. Now, the week is specifically just to increase awareness and to be more informative, because we've got a lot of services that we need to deal with for children. But protection of children needs to happen every day. So this week, we're just intensifying the education. Also because if you look at last year, June to now, there has been an increase in the number of children that are being abused, exploited, harmed physically and otherwise and children that were killed simply because people do not understand the value of protecting children. But we've also seen that parents are vulnerable themselves, such that our programs are increasing in supporting parents to ensure that they can be able to do what is expected of them and ensure that children are safe and less vulnerable.
And ours is a society that seems to believe that children are to be seen and not heard, Gugu. What would save the children want us as people to be more vigilant of in our behaviors, in our treatment of children?
Thank you, Asanda. One thing that we know, a child is in the center and is being taken care of by parents. And obviously, there's a power difference. The child is powerless according to parents, and the child cannot say anything that they would listen to. That power struggle or that power difference causes parents to think, I will say anything and I will do anything, and this individual must just be part of it. And yet, just what parents say to children, what they do to children, and what parents do when the child is watching causes the child to make a decision and say, this is how I'm going to respond to this individual, because clearly they don't see me, they don't hear me, and when I observe them, I do not learn something that I would want to do regularly because it's not a good role model. So now it creates children to be against the very parent, and yet we would like a parent and a child, let's say the children, to have conversation, to speak about things that they are going through. If I'm happy as a child and as a parent, I must talk about it with my parent. If I'm not happy, I must also talk about it. And if there's a solution that must be developed, we can co-develop that solution. For instance, parents are unable to teach a child that it's important to read. Because when you read, you develop cognitively, you also become wise in the environment that you are in. Now, this must be a conversation so that the child sees the value of it and is able to do it even in the absence of the parent. So it's important for parents and children to create a relationship that is in the same level. The power differences should not be used.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gugu. That is where we are going to leave it. Sis Gugu Taba is the acting CEO of Save the Children South Africa. More conversations coming up on the week ahead after this break. In 1994, June 16 was declared National Youth Day in South Africa. The commemoration of the day reflects on the massacre of school children during the Soweto uprising of 1976. Each year, the day recognizes the struggles of the youth of 1976 and celebrates the impact they brought in the liberation of the country. As we approach Youth Month, we reflect on the socio-economic challenges that the young people of today continue to face in our society. For more on this, we're now joined by Asanda Luwata. Very good afternoon to you, Asanda. As we approach Youth Month in South Africa this week, should the youth be looking forward to this month? Is it something they should be excited about?
Good afternoon to your viewers, and thank you for having me on your show. Definitely, I think as a young person myself, we are excited to be commemorating Youth Month this year. We will be kicking off or commemorating it with the theme of ensuring that we provide the necessary opportunities for young people, and we will be launching the Youth Month in Soweto, Orlando West, at the Hector Peterson Memorial Site, wherein then the entire Youth Month program will be outlined to young people.
And more or less, can you give us a sense of what the Youth Month program is going to look like?
Yeah, so we've got various initiatives. Like I said, the theme for this year would be accelerating collaborations and opportunities to transform the lives of young people. So what we wanted to do is to do away with, the programs that just speak about rhetoric, but we want young people to walk away with tangible opportunities that will change their conditions. So we've got various programs lined up. We've got career expos, we've got opportunity corners, where we're going to bring in over 4,000 young people. We are targeting the top 40 JSE listed companies, universities, TVET institutions, your CETAs, government departments and the likes, because what we want to do is have that appreciation that youth development is not something that just happens in silos, but we need that collaboration from all relevant stakeholders so that we're able to have that impact that we want to see.
And how impactful or meaningful are these commemorations, Asanda? Mindful that we know that there's serious voter apathy, including amongst youth who are indicating that they see no reason to even participate in the upcoming elections because their lives are not improving in a meaningful way. And also, let's just consider that the first quarter results of the Labour Force Survey of 2023 showed that the total number of unemployed youth aged between 15 and 34 increased by 241,000 to 4.9 million. And we can go even deeper into the statistics. The point is they're quite bleak.
Yeah, no, the statistics are indicative of, just how much, we need to do. So from the earlier part of your question, I think we need to have an appreciation, particularly as young people, that yes, the youth of 1976 were at the forefront of the fight against apartheid. The class of the 76 exposed the brutality of that regime. So what we as, the youth of today need to do is that this generation must, continue to work towards a society that is free from your racial, social, economic, as well as your class barriers. We need to have a youth that is also cognizant of the importance in participating in these democratic processes, like the elections. You spoke about voter apathy, which is by and large a reality, but what we need to do is, to encourage young people to make their voices heard, because what we need to have an appreciation is that, you can't want to have a say, or you can't want to be critical of the government of the day if you're not participating in shaping that particular government. Correct. So we need young people to go out and vote so that their voices can be heard. And really the agency such as, the NYD, the National Youth Development Agency, is really there to ensure that, yes, while we are celebrating close to 30 years of democracy, and we are alive to the fact that we have attained political freedom, but, economic freedom still leaves much to be desired.
Yes, economic freedom, something that is very, very important, especially for the youth of South Africa. Asanda, we thank you very much for your time. And she is the chairperson of the NYDA board. We pause the week ahead at this point to go to a crossing as the Secretary General of African National Congress, Fikile Mbalula, is updating the media on the National Working Committee visit to the Northwest Province.
In Dr. Ruth Mumpati, First DSG, Nomvula Mukonyani, in Bujanala, Fikile Mbalula, Secretary General, in KK Kaunda, Gwede Mantashe, National Chairperson. They were joined in those meetings by members of the Provincial Executive Committee, members of the NWC and Stroke NEC in those meetings. We focused on the state of organization in the Northwest Province. We also focus on the state of governance. We are now receiving reports from the different regions and the Provincial Executive Committee. There are many things that have been said by the structures in those meetings, and challenges that we are facing as an organization. Some regions have not gone to regional conferences, so we need to expedite that process. And there are still hangovers over the last national provincial conference that took place here. And we believe that it is time, Marumo Fatsi, we need to implement the Marumo Fatsi program in the Northwest. Our organization is ravaged by squabbles, which are very, very, very not ideological, not political, just personal, all round. And we are going to implement the Marumo Fatsi program in the Northwest. There are comrades who took the Provincial Executive Committee to court to challenge the outcomes of the conference. The courts have ruled on that particular matter. Not all conferences will give you the desire or the wishes of whatever group, but once conferences are over, we need to put down the weapons and get on with the work of the ANC. Where there are challenges, we will work with the province to address those challenges. Governance, there are startling cases of anarchy, so to say, where people have voted for the ANC, but they are ANC employees who have taken the vote and given it to the opposition. Mamusa is one such council which we need to attend to. We have challenges here in Bujanala, which are not major. It's just squabble among comrades. Councillors being defiant and doing as they wish. So the center must hold. There are very, very good examples. Moretele, the comrades there are doing their best. Moretele, Khetleng, they are good examples. With less revenue, but they are focused on the work in terms of spending the money that is allocated because they don't have revenue, and then working with the people on the ground, because that is essentially the work of council and councillors. How do you become a councillor and your record in terms of engaging the people is poor? Then you're not supposed to be a councillor, because the reason you are a councillor, you are employed politically, is because you must interact with the people. You wake up, you breathe, you are the last line of intervention and interaction. When people cry about clinics, water, and all of that, they see a councillor who must then explain. Some of these councillors, indeed, they don't have the means to help. Where they intervene is because they've got massive support from provincial government and so on. So we will reflect on those issues and then take necessary steps where it is necessary. Squabbles, we are not going to put up with squabbles. People must mend up and be matured, and then we'll support them. And then if not, we will then be decisive. But equally, we want to see the provincial leadership led by Nono and his collective here in the province providing leadership. They too need our support in providing that leadership to unite them and then to unite the ground. So that's really very fundamental as we approach not only the elections but building a strong African National Congress, which is the main focus of this visit to provinces. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, SG. Can I just take a quick round of questions? Mindful of the fact that the meeting is still ongoing, so this is not a report of the outcomes of the meeting, as just a quick reflection. May I start with yourself, my brother, followed by yourself and yourself, my sister, in that order, and Junior, you'll be the last person.
Nice in the Tonje from Eyewitness News. Two quick ones. Earlier this year you mentioned that the ANC will be looking to deploy senior officials into troubled municipalities. You've got a couple that are placed under administration and they're troubled here. Are you looking at that here in this province? Number two is a side issue. The Western Cape and the Women's League conferences, do we know the status, especially with the Women's League one? Is it still going to happen, seeing that it's 3 weeks away from the date that it was, that is supposed to take place?
We are considering the intervention to include senior ANC people, not only across the country. So it's part of our plan as the national leadership of the ANC, and we will also bounce that with the comrades in the province, which is what they need to look at, so that we bring stability in some of the municipalities where we are challenged because of ANC squabbles. So that plan is there, and you are going to see it coming into place. And also we are going to adopt tomorrow a detailed plan of engaging with municipalities. We have had 42 of such municipalities that are faced with challenges in the country. And once that plan is adopted, we are going to launch it. That plan will include a barometer in terms of performance of our municipalities, and also the right people, the right skilled people are deployed to check that in terms of the barometer. So that is on the works, and we will unveil it very soon. And then Women's League Conference is coming. The DSG Maropin is not yet, they are busy with those preparations. And the Youth League Conference also is coming. And Western Cape is sitting in July, or June. It's sitting now in June. The conference, they are ready. We are helping them to do the final touches. I'm good.
Introduce yourself. My name is Lunga from the Citizen. Yesterday the President spoke in length about the issue that the municipalities in Tabo have, and the municipalities come out to say they don't have any money. What intervention are you doing as the leaders? And he also spoke about the issues of being divisive, that you are divided, there's no unity in that, especially that region. And also, Chair, they've accused you of being one who is the leader of those divisiveness in this province. I just want to hear your takes on both of that.
No, I'm not sure about the accusation of the chair being the leader of divisions. I think the secretary was very clear that when you go to conferences, people will lobby for their preferred leaders. And once a conference is over, each and every member of the African National Congress must lobby or must rally behind that leadership. Now, this is where we are. He also indicated that we need to open the gates of conferences, because it looks like some amongst us are still locked into those conferences. Once we open those gates and so on, then everybody must focus on rebuilding, renewing, and uniting the African National Congress. So there is nothing like that. Ours is to focus on uniting the ANC in the province, rebuilding our structures and so on, and ensuring that there is stability in our municipalities, in the provincial government and so on. So we are seized with that project. All other things are not part of our agenda.
We are going to work and help the province to unite. The chair is correct. Like I said in the preamble, that there are still hangovers about the conference that took place here. There are still people who are still who don't regard the leadership as leadership. You get to the stage where you give up, and then that's why I'm saying we're going to implement the Marumo Fatsi program in the Northwest. And we will assist that project, because in it there's a lot of allegations that are made. There are perceptions, whether true or false, that people think they have been bashed and that they have been chased around by the leadership and so on. Across, there is that complaint. So the issue of patronage, it's a phenomenon that visited us as early as 1996. It is ravaging the movement here in this province and across the country. We need to develop a clear approach of how we deal with that particular phenomenon. Ditsobota, I thought no will respond to that.
Ditsobota. No. We have sent a team to Ditsobota from both COGTA and the provincial treasury to go and assist. our biggest problem in Ditsobotla is revenue collection. The municipality is not collecting from consumers. So we have said what the team must do, firstly, is to ensure that they assist them with enhancement programs, which they are doing. But thirdly, because Ditsobotla owes ESCOM, it owes the water boards a lot of money. We have applied to national, in line with what is contained in Circular 124, that there must be debt relief. We have applied, we are assisting Ditsobotla to comply. As we speak, Ditsobotla for now is owed over 50 million by the provincial departments and national departments. One of the things that we are doing starting from next week is to ensure that each and every department, they pay Ditsobotla what is owed to Ditsobotla in order for Ditsobotla to meet their obligations. So those interventions are there. There is a team permanently in that municipality. I have also, in my capacity as the MEC for Kokta, deployed a chief director from the department to go and assist there administratively. She is there every day to ensure that there is permanent stability in Ditsobotla. It is not going to be easy, but we'll get it right.
Thank you very much. Shall I move on to you? Oh, see, my sister.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, SG. How does the ruling party then respond to these allegations that are actually showing their head that some 3 senior members of the ANC have been marred with these allegations that they tried to bribe the public protector to have one of the investigations against them evaporated for electoral?
Well, we can't talk about the ghost. So up until we have something, we can then talk about it. At the present moment, it's a ghost. Mzilikazi writes a story, and then it doesn't mention the names, and then the allegations are there. We don't know what they're talking about, whether there is veracity in the whole thing, but it says there are SMSs exchanged. I'm eager to know who's that, who has done that. If there is any member of the ANC who have done the things that Mzilikazi is reporting about, surely there will be action. Heads will roll, definitely, because we don't play. You go wrong, we hit you. We hit you hard. If there's anybody who has done the things that Mzilikazi is alleging would have happened in the inquiry of Mkhwebana, that person is in for a high jump. The ANC will not hesitate to act. At the present moment, I've got nothing. And there is a journalist, he reported, I'm concerned about the image of the ANC. And that is why we took Mr. Director to clean us. I had some gossip newspaper said that it was all lies, we didn't act. We have acted. And I will be issuing a statement today to report on that Director matter. So any member of the ANC who's found on the reports as reported by Mzilikazi, I can assure you, it won't take a week. We will be on top of that person.
Thank you. Ms. G?
It's Junior Kumalo from News 24.
Okay.
I just had one question on the panel that was announced by the president today. He has finally announced a panel to look into the allegations that there were arms that were loaded into the ship that went to Russia. I just wanted to get a comment from the ANC on that. What does it mean that the panel has finally been appointed? And you're also engaging with the ambassadors of the US, the Ukraine, and Russia as well. Just maybe an update on those engagements.
Well, you do have anarchists in this country like John Estesen, who says that he believes there were arms sent to Russia. When President investigates that thing, you then have overzealous people who say that he shouldn't do it. There is a man here called John Estesen from the DA, who went and told Nick, a reporter from the United Kingdom, that he believes that what he saw when he went to Ukraine, those are arms from South Africa. He said he saw it for himself. So what should we do? The president have established a commission of inquiry led by a retired judge to investigate those allegations. Now, if the president didn't do anything about it or investigate and simply say that there are no arms, it will remain with us forever. If somebody have given arms to Russia during this period, if the report comes saying Mbalula gave arms to Russia, we will act on that. Others are simplifying it. No, the president should have just gone and checked the slips. We are running a country, not a banana republic. We are being accused here by John S. Tyson. Leave Brigadier, the U.S. ambassador. Leave him. We understand U.S. people now. How are they and all of that? They like to make these allegations. They can tomorrow wake up and say there's going to be a big war in South Africa. They make those allegations from time to time. We need to get to know which kind of people are they. But they are also dangerous because they started this thing that we're giving arms to Russia. Now, we are trying to play a role there. We know the effects of that war on the developing countries. Cost of living of our people, right? And then it has affected us negatively. It has affected us negatively, and it is important that we deal with that war. And if people open up like they've done with us now, that they are ready, right, to engage, it is important we give that process a chance. And with the possibility that there will be a ceasefire. But all of these things are not easy. You've got to work on them. We have taken a clear position that we are not interested in promoting war. And we cannot therefore have an allegation hanging on us that we gave arms to one party in the war situation. We've got to clear our country. It's not a small feat. And if it was that easy, it will be easy. Now, President probably has got a report on his table from the Minister of Defense, Defense Intelligence, and everybody. They say this thing is not there. The President comes out and says, no, it is not there. Will he be believed? What do people believe? John S. Tyson, not an ambassador from America, our John, in this country, John, says that he believes that they are arms. These people, the way they want power, they don't care about South Africa as a country. They don't care. As long as anything will bring the ANC down, John S. Tyson can just go and say, no, I believe that this thing can happen. Because in his mind and the DA, they are hurting the ANC. And yet they are hurting this country and its economic relations with other countries and all of that in terms of what we are trying to do. He should have probably said something, but he said, I believe this can happen. And he tells the United Kingdom people who are not so good to us. I mean, these people didn't want us to host the World Cup. They said things about the World Cup, that there will be crime, people are going to be raped. They even ran stories. I was in the police. We arrested somebody that they protected who said that him and his army, they are going to rape tourists when they come here. All those news came from Great Britain, BBC. The work we had to put up and ensure that the World Cup become a success was something else. Now, the same people are told that we gave arms to Russia by a South African. Now, leave alone the American ambassador. A South African says to a British media specialist that he believes that our government supplied arms to Russia. If that happened, let me tell you, there will be no question about it that anyone who did that, it's a criminal act, and they must be dealt with accordingly. Government will act on that, and the president will act, and the ANC will support that particular action, because that's why we dismiss it. We don't even think such a thing could happen. But for the sake of it, countries have gone to war because they were told that there are weapons of mass destruction that were never found. So we can't allow such a thing to linger on. We need to prove it once and for all that it happened or it didn't happen, and we take appropriate action. So we support the president to deal with this matter. Judge Mujapilu and all the people who are been given a task, we salute them and wish them good in terms of the work they are about to undertake.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a presser tomorrow.
What is your last question? Those ones we are dealing with them. That anarchy of Rustenburg, by the time we leave here, it will be over. We are not here to play marbles with people who don't understand their responsibility. That speaker and the mayor and everybody here, they must understand that the ANC is in charge. Nobody is going to do as they wish here. By the time we leave, this Rustenburg will be either ANC or it will be something else. We are not going to be held at ransom by individuals who have got an uncontrollable desire for power. And even if it brings the ANC to the mat, they don't care. We're not going to put up with that. I need to be have I made myself very, very clear? It must be clear to these comrades. I told them here yesterday, and it is going to be clearer and clearer by the time we leave. Thank you.
SG. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, gentlemen.
Yeah, I wanted to check that.
See you tomorrow. We will send you an updated advisory.
That press briefing taking place in Rustenburg in the northwest. And moving on the week ahead, in international news, voting is taking place in Turkey's presidential runoff election. It's the first time that the contenders are going to a second round. Tayyip Erdogan is seeking to remain in power after 20 years. Kemal is challenging him. Our respondent, Trent Murray, has more.
It looks like we are going to have another enormous turnout. When the first round of this presidential vote was held, turnout was close to 90%, which is just a huge number when you compare it to other nations that hold elections. I think that what you are seeing from both sides right now is a real effort underway to make sure that there was not a dip in their supporters, particularly the opposition, who may have been feeling a little bit disillusioned by the fact that they didn't do as well in the first round as what many of the polls had predicted. The opposition spending a lot of time here trying to encourage people to come out and vote once again. But as you say, going in to the ballot tonight, it probably is looking better for President Erdogan. He finished that last vote 2.5 million votes ahead of his main rival, and for that reason I think they are feeling a little bit more comfortable in that camp. But nevertheless, the opposition is not going down without a fight. They have put a number of issues at the front centre of their campaign, namely recently, actually in the past 2 weeks, a real ratcheting up of rhetoric against refugees. There's a lot of posters around Istanbul right now saying Syrians will go back, and that is a nod to the fact that Kılıçdaroğlu, the opposition leader, has said if he wins, he will ask the 3.5 million Syrians that are seeking refuge after the war over the border, well, he will ask them to go home. It's a very controversial policy attempt to try and tap into some of that nationalist vote, which they believe they will need in order to reach that crucial 50% mark tonight.
And that is where we leave the week ahead for today. We are back next weekend. Until then, have a fantastic week. Take care.